What do you think about Roger Ver, the possibility for pardon given Ulbricht, Fiore, and others, and then a little bit on Richard Hart, who seems to have gotten away with all of it?
I like the Richard Hart story best because actually that doesn't surprise me because I mean I'm not an expert on HEX, but I did watch the documentary and I got the impression reading between the lines that ultimately he has designed his altcoin using the mechanisms of the existing financial system. It's like I think after discovering Bitcoin, I mean, when you start learning about Bitcoin, it starts, you start uncovering exactly how the existing financial system works. And he kind of went, forget this Bitcoin malarkey. Why don't I just kind of repeat what the existing financial system is doing? Because for the people who are close to the printing press and the existing financial system, they're the ones who are winning. And all credit to his intelligence for figuring that out. And so if the lawyers decide to go after him for the strategy that he's used, if effectively they're blaming him for using a strategy that the existing financial system is blamed on. So if he, it could actually create quite a hoo-ha if he were to be found operating against the law because he can just turn around and say, well, I'm just doing what you guys are doing. And so it looks like what's happened, he's gone, that's exactly what's happened. They went, oh, I better go and keep this one on the down low. Don't want too many people knowing about this. So actually, I'm not that surprised. And I suspect when Richard Hart, I mean, he's ballsy enough to kind of take that strategy and then throw it in everybody's face, and of course this is what's happened, and hardly anyone's batting an eyelid about it, because we've got all of these other crazy cases going on. So if you do a deep dive into some of these things, it can be very enlightening and very educational as to how the world actually works. And some of these cases should be making people sit up and go, hang on a minute, because a lot of people have been criticizing Richard Hart for having a scam coin, especially compared to Bitcoin. But it's like, well, why is it a scam coin? And why would the SEC not challenge that when there was all this hoo-ha about XRP? And there was a huge debate over whether or not Ethereum whatever Ethereum was being blamed on. So, a lot of these court cases, there are interesting lessons to be learned here. And I think as each one kind of goes along, it's like another layer of the onion is being peeled back. It's like an education for everyone. If you really dive into it as to, well, why did this one succeed? Why didn't this one succeed? Um, but yeah, I thought I'd highlight the narrative behind Richard's one because I think if you don't know anything about Hex, that's actually really interesting.